Hello everyone, welcome to day 11 of my 30-day project. Not a whole lot going on today. Today in the Strongest Governor is the fifth day, which is one where you have to use a couple of your KVK resources. I did one Mithril upgrade, and that kind of got me where I needed to be. But I wanted to kind of just show you guys like what I do on like down days like this, and it is usually some shenanigans. Today I am doing some practice stuff where I'm getting another alliance involved, and I'm just working on figuring out some formational things. We don't do as a whole in our gaming community for Kingshot. We don't do a whole lot with the random defensive buff users that we have in the game, like Fod, Howard, Quinn, Helga for one. And like you see my main rally up here, I'm using Eric, Jabel, and Jaeger, who are all season 3 or before, And you can see here I'm trying to do just infantry and archers because Jabel's a season 1 hero, so she's not going to do any damage. And I had done a previous test where I used just all defensive heroes, with some Fods and Erics and Howards and stuff like that, and made the battle go on for freaking ever. Let me show you here. So here's somebody who I got to attack me where I was just using, Alcar, Fod, and Quinn. And I had one person who joined me, and they joined me with a Howard. And you can see here, this battle lasted quite a while. Had 146 uses of my infantry's defensibility. And I was like, you know what, I want to do better than that. So I switched to Eric with Fod and Quinn, and I had a couple more people join me. He's using Howard, Fod, Eric, and Fod again. And you can see this one lasted quite a bit longer. It was 217 skills for my infantry skill being triggered, 138 skills from Petra over here. So it's quite a long battle. And, seeing that, the battles can last forever like that when you're using the defensive skills, I thought, well, my infantry can clearly last a really long time on their own if I do full 100% infantry using these particular squad buffs. What'll happen if I throw archers in with it? So now I'm just waiting on, my fellow people from Egg to come over here and beat me up a little bit to see what kind of report I get out of it. So that's kind of what I do on my down days. I just do little test things. We are doing some Sanctuary stuff today, and when we join Sanctuaries, we use half marches. I'll show you. Like this is my half march for Sanctuary. Whenever I lead the Sanctuary rallies, oh shoot, I have these backwards. This is supposed to be Margot, and then Alcar. That way, if I'm joining instead of whatever, and it's really easy to do a half rally, 30 and 20 or 50, so that's 50% right there. So you can do a half rally pretty easily. That's why we don't do just like 75k or 70k or something like that, because you can join a half rally and still get 80k troops in when you're a big whale like me. So if you're not a big whale like me, because see I got 82,000 troops, that's not that much higher than 75,000 like some people use. So I mean, if you're not somebody who's maxed out all of their troop quantity and got all their buildings to TG5 and did all the researches you need to do for troop size and stuff like that, your half rally is probably going to be around 75,000. Yeah. We also do this thing where we thumbs up or whatever if we're going to make it. So I want to make sure I thumbs up. That way you can join the rallies without any problems. Just wait, let's made it in 24 seconds. I will say that recently I have looked into this stuff. Like, I don't really need any Season 4 widgets right now. But what I really found interesting about this is you can get 3 of these for just 10 of your pearls. So if you're putting 10 pearls into one widget or 10 pearls into 3 of these, I think 3 of these is actually a pretty good deal. And I was also looking at the flower event, and another thing that's a really good deal are these. It's about $5 for 80 of these keys, and usually $5 will get you 2 to 3 of these at best. So getting 7 of these for what is essentially $6 is actually not a bad deal. So if you're interested in kind of getting some of those pet stones, you can get a pretty good amount of them from the flower event after you've already got your mithril. I've already bought out all my mithril, so I started buying those because it seems like a pretty good deal. I also bought my daily mythic shards, which you get 10 mythic shards for less than $10. And if you go over here to the weekly event or weekly deal, it's what two of them for $1 usually. And hold on, I'll go back in there in a second after I join this rally. Come on, start it up, Fisk. We have been put in charge, Fisk. All right, and there we go. So like, what was I saying? So I don't remember how much they were, but it shows it on the shop once you go in there at the bottom if you've already bought it. So you got 10 of them for 50 of these things. And like I said, 80 of them is about $5. 80 of these little pieces or whatever. So for $5, you're getting those same 10 mythic shards plus an extra 30 keys. So if you spend $5 again, you can get the 2 of these for the day. So for $10, you get, what is it? For $10, you get 120 keys, so that's actually 60 keys for $5 when you go to the $10 package, which is still a little bit cheaper than the weekly deal. And then you'll have 20 extra keys left over, which you can use for other stuff up here too. So a lot of people are buying these right now because Mythic Hero gear is a little harder to come by too. So this is also a really good thing to try to invest your keys into. I just don't think I'm going to get to this 140 mark before the event ends. If I do, I'll grab one, but otherwise, I'm not in any particular need for these at the moment. You need a lot of Hero Gear EXP in order to go up to the next one. So if you look at my Archer Hero right now, I'm working on trying to get these up to 60. In order to get them up to 60, I need 30 mithril, which that's 17 away from what I have right now. I'm going to get probably 5 of them a week, so that's another month away if I don't have another big deal come up like this Ciel did here. So I'm not in any rush to get my my Mythic Hero gear because I still have some left over. I can still do my upgrades and stuff without them. So I'm kind of prioritizing my pet stuff right now because when I come up to my power, damn it, there we go. And I click this little thing, and I look at my power rankings. Everything's S or SS except for my pet power, and I need to get that pet power up in order to kind of be on par with what is expected of somebody my level. So I've been working on trying to get my pet stuff more enhanced just to kind of be where I need to be. Anyway, that's kind of what I do on my slow days where I'm not really doing anything. We had Bear Pit today, we had Sanctuaries today, but we have a pretty peaceful state. Sanctuaries are not super imperative to learn about, how to fight on them, things like that. I will say that, the one thing that you could probably gain or glean from a Sanctuary battle, let me go to one that's currently active, which is the one that we're fighting now. And I'm going to go to the rules, and I want to touch on the control rules real quick. So it says an alliance that continuously occupies the sanctuary for 30 minutes during the 2-hour battle phase gains control of the sanctuary. Everybody knows this. You hold it for 30 minutes without losing it, it's yours. But then point number 2 says if no alliance continuously occupies a sanctuary for 30 minutes by the end of the battle, control goes to the last occupying alliance. Some people get a little confused about what this means. Some people think it goes back to whoever owned it before the battle started, or the last controlling occupant or whatever like that. So like say we had it last week and somebody's fighting us for it and nobody can really, get the 30 minutes in, it doesn't go back to us. It goes to whoever held it in the last second of the battle. So that's one of the strategies you can look for when you're trying to take control of sanctuaries. It also works the same on the alliance buildings. So like, I went out too far. So these things here, it works the same way on these. So if I go to this, it has the same ruling as those do. So whoever had the last second of occupancy gets it if nobody has control of it by the end of the battle. And that's a common rule in this game. So, and that's really the only thing about sanctuaries that's kind of new to anyone. I've already showed you a different sanctuary video on how to read them, how to get the rewards and stuff like that. So anyway, hopefully this helped. I don't think you guys learned too much on this one, but if you feel like it, you can like and subscribe anyway.